Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here, and today we are going to be looking at Jim Lee's X-Men Artist Edition from IDW and Marvel Comics. Okay, so I'm super excited about this one. I'm a longtime comics fan and fan of the X-Men. Pretty much like from the time when Paul Smith came on the book till the time probably when Chris Claremont left was just never the same for me. But this is highlighting Jim Lee's X-Men years, mostly with Chris Claremont. He did take over a little bit after Chris left. But anyway, so these artist edition books, if you guys have never seen them, are amazing. They're from IDW. Basically, it's reprinting the original art without color and pretty much at the size it was drawn. So these are like average size comic art is 10 by 15 inches. So these are like 11 by 17 or 12 by 18 or whatever. Whatever fits that. They come in this nice cardboard box. And so this is like the closest you'll get to seeing holding the art in your hands because they scan it from the original art. So it has all the like eraser marks and thumbprints, and you can see like the little guidelines for the lettering. And let's point out how cool Jim Lee's Magneto is. I love the way he draws Magneto. Very sinister, back to his evil roots. Such a cool movement in X-Men history. And Jim Lee, I became a fan of his work on Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight, I'm a huge fan. It was never the same for me after John Byrne left, but then I did hang in there, and I do have to say I loved his art. I loved his art on Punisher War Journal, and so he just really came into his own and exploded on X-Men and just really turned the industry on its ear in a lot of ways and set the tone for the way comics would probably look for the next 30 years after him, and he's still kind of going strong, so it's super cool. Great shot of Wolverine and Jubilee there. And so I guess the difference between an artist edition and an artifact edition is, which they also do, is the artist editions tend to contain at least like one complete issue. So we'll see if that's in here. And that's a great freaking Colossus. I mean, I just love seeing the art at the size it was actually drawn. And it just shows you how much detail. And this always gives me a new respect for the inkers. Dan Green, longtime X-Men inker. He inked John Romita Jr. I want to say he probably also inked Mark Silvestri. And very cool shot of the Reavers here. I love that guy's design here. I have to say Mark Silvestri drew really cool Reavers, but he pretty much created them. So usually the person who creates them draws the coolest version. Jim Lee draws an awesome Psylocke, probably one of the best. Indisputable. His run on X-Men was just so much fun. You know, much credit goes to Scott Williams. It's funny, this looks like a different inking style to me. This looks like Will's Portacio, which very well could be, since I believe they worked in the same studio together, or were friends or whatever, and they were always kind of tag teaming on art. And I love to see little things like that. But Scott Williams is Jim Lee's go-to anchor from all the way back here in X-Men. So, you know, he still works with him today. And I think that they definitely have a great shorthand as an artistic duo. That's a great shot of Captain America. So iconic, just like on the cover with the Black Widow and Wolverine and Captain America. This is like probably one of many X-Men fans' favorite issues. I mean, the synergy between Chris Claremont and Jim Lee was pretty much on fire. I mean, I think that's a great credit to Chris Claremont, though, because he just had so many great runs with so many great artists. And I think that, you know, it must have been great for like some up and coming artists to work with like a pro like Chris Claremont, way to elevate your sort of craft and make you want to be better at what you do. That's how I would feel anyway. Such a great shot of Rogue. It should be pointed out that this is guest inker Art T-Bear. Um, looks like Thibbert, but it's T-Bear. And he's a great artist. I loved his black and white. And he inked Carlos Pacheco on X-Men. And also, he's a great artist in his own right. And this is the, like, Rogue Captain Marvel issue, which is so cool. Or I should say Miss Marvel. I believe she was still Miss Marvel at the time. There's the actual size of that blown up Magneto from the end pieces of the book. Such a great, menacing, cool looking Magneto. I think that John Byrne, probably Jack Kirby, and Jim Lee draw the best Magnetos. Potato. Is it one of those things? How do you say it? I'm going to see a lot of Magnetos in the comments, I hope. Such a great, fierce Wolverine. It's funny because I say this, I feel like John Byrne is like one of the artists that influenced or made, certain comic artists get into the industry, like Jim Lee here. And he's sort of like a John Byrne of his own time. I mean, he created this sort of 90s look with the way, like, his own type of hatching, which, Byrne has his own type of hatching. And I don't know, he just is undoubtedly one of the greatest comic book artists of our time, and his stuff on X-Men here is just so exciting, and I just really looked forward to it every month. I mean, another killer shot of Wolverine. There's killer shots of Wolverine for days. Archangel looks totally cool there. I love that design. That was one of the great, like, classic character makeovers for, like, the better. It's funny because Angel started out with his traditional, like, X-Men uniform costume, and then he sort of had the either red or blue or red and white or red or blue and white, depending on if he was in Defenders or Champions or with the X-Men or whatever. But that was a great costume too, so they really took it up a notch with, the Archangel makeover. That's kind of the fun thing about the evolution of the X-Men over the years, like Cyclops going from, like, a proper English lady to an Asian ninja via the Sage Perilous, which is probably a video for another day. Is that? Oh no, this is Lila Cheney. I thought that was Jubilee at first, which is funny because a lot of people complain that Jim Lee draws the same faces. And to be honest with you, they do look kind of identical there. But that's not to rip on Jim Lee because he's an amazing artist. And I just thought it was a little hookery for Jubilee. But I thought that was kind of cool how they put them in these traditional looking X-Men uniforms. Kind of fun to see Wolverine like that. Deathbird, beyond cool. And with this sort of highlighting, hatching, whatever you want to call it, that was like so 90s and so, like, really just created a monster, if you will. A lot of knockoffs, a lot of clones. Great shot of the Starjammers there. And this is like X-Men at their best, when one day they're in the Savage Land, the next day they're in outer space with the Starjammers. I mean, but then you're there for the characters because you love the characters, like Gambit. Good, cool looking Gladiator. Is there I would like a better money shot of Gladiator. That's a little better. It's funny how these Zipatones, I don't know if that's from aging or if that's how they normally look because of course this would all be done in computer now, but they would have to cut out it's like transparent overlay, and they would just cut this out to match, and they would have to cut it out perfectly. And it just is funny how comics have gone from almost really a craft to, well, I guess it's a different form of medium, not just to discount digital, but there's something to be said about the actual physical, production of art, and just like to see it in this format is so cool. You can see like the little notes to the editor or to the colorist, you know, like the little it's funny because obviously scanning, you know, captures everything, but they would, for some reason, blue doesn't reproduce. So a lot of artists even drew in blue pencil, and then the inker would just ink over it and not have to erase the blue pencil. So I guess it was kind of a time saving technique. I suppose it because they would photocopy the art and then whatever for filming it, but or coloring it. I don't know the process. I'm not a printer. Here comes like some big, gigantic, exciting fold out. Oh, that's so cool. Of course, that's the famous selling 7 million copies of the best-selling comic book of all time. I think I got that right. Probably say 8, I don't know. But that just means that the speculator market, I mean, so they sold these all individually, and of course, being the sucker that I am, I think especially with Storm, like I bought into it. Oh, they're going to be worth millions of dollars someday, so you better just, I don't know, buy a bunch of them. But that just means there's a lot of back issues that nobody wants. So they came out in 1, 2, 3, 4 different parts, and then they came out with a gatefold of them all. And of course, I had to get all the editions because, you know, Jim Lee's art, right? And I believe it was colored a little differently. It's a fun lineup of the X-Men. It's like a time capsule of kind of where they were, with Lorna Dane having lost her powers of magnetism, and she becomes like this sort of big strong woman. And it's a cool Havok. Do people like Havok? I love Havok with his weird headgear. I think that it was always such a cool design. I want to say Neil Adams is probably responsible for that, but very cool. Colossus, like I said. I mean, Jim Lee just draws classic superheroes so good. That's why it's kind of always exciting to see, no matter what he's gonna draw. Um, you know, it's kind of more fun if, like, it was fun to see him draw the Justice League and Batman with Hush and that boring Brian Azzarello story. I would love to see him do like a good run on Wonder Woman. I think he should team with his old buddy Chris Claremont, and I think they would do like a killer Wonder Woman, because you know Chris would be all up on those Amazons and stuff. The art is just so cool. I just love this so much. I mean, this was a fun time to be an X-Men fan, you know. It really was exciting with X-Force, and just, I mean, Jim Lee was just killing it. Look at that, how like majestic and dynamic this comic art is. It just, I can definitely see why he inspired generations of comic book artists after him, and why so many people wanted to emulate his style. And you know, he just sort of like very revolutionary. You know, I think that he definitely deserves a lot of credit, and he's such a great artist. Like, I don't know, his stuff is just really pretty to look at. I can just see these in color from when they came out, and how excited I was as a fan to get them. So many great shots. It's funny because they talk about money shots, which is like the you know, great one image that would sell the page or whatever, and how that the image guys sort of challenged themselves to put a money shot on every single page. And you can definitely see that in this art. I mean, there's a money shot on every page. But I'll take it. I mean, gorgeous, right? But it's so true. Look, Colossus there just leaping off the page. Beautiful shot of Archangel. It's funny because, you know, famously there was that burn scene with Wolverine in the sewers. So now he's got his backup with Psylocke and Gambit. I love Gambit. I wish that they teased that Channing Tatum movie, Gambit, for years, and I don't know why people scoffed at it. I think it would have been fairly awesome. I mean, look, Gambit's kind of, you know, I don't know, graceful and nimble, sort of elf-like in a way, but as Channing Tatum is a dancer, I think that he would definitely pull off his moves kind of really good. So that's so funny. This is the, what do they call that? The Usher um, thing, because women with broken backs, I think Image Art takes a lot of blame for that. I mean, you really shouldn't be able to see her butt and her chest at the same time, but there it is. So, I mean, if it's not completely anatomically correct, at least it's correct within the boundaries of Jim Lee's world. So I'll take it. I mean, his art is amazing. I'll always be a fan. I've followed many of his runs. I think probably not so much in the past, I don't know, whatever, few years, but I mean, to be honest with you, and, you know, he was definitely at the top of his game. I think there is a certain quality that, I don't know, just really doesn't exist anymore. I don't know, like, he's evolved in a way. He's a little looser, and I don't know. This just seems very comic booky, very super heroic, and I just love it. I mean, check out this Gambit on Beast's back. I mean, I don't think it gets much better than that, does it? So cool. Just so many great shots. I mean, Psylocke just kicking at the camera. And this art is just amazing. I mean, to just see it like in this format is so cool. And I really commend the guys at IDW, probably Scott Dunbier, put this together. And, you know, you can tell that the company just really has a reverence for artists and comic book art. And, you know, I really think it's cool that they're able to, you know, share it with the public in this form. I mean, I think comic book art is so, especially in the past few years, I've started, you know, really noticing comic art, probably because of these books, and I've collected a few pieces, and you just have a real, I mean, look at the shot of Magneto. That is so freaking cool with all the different tones and everything. I mean, there's just so many levels of badassery to this. It's just pretty freaking amazing. They definitely had a memorable run on the X-Men, Chris Claremont and Jim Lee. And I guess Jim Lee post Chris Claremont. I think he did that. What was that? Weapon Omega, I guess. Feels like after Claremont left. Which is a shame. I just thought, you know, hey, if Claremont had never left, that would be kind of unprecedented. He would have been writing them for 50 years. But that's fine. I mean, a lifetime of X-Men, you know. I feel like he was the one who should have told their story completely. But I guess politics and crap got in the way. There must be a story to that, right? I mean, I don't know that I've ever heard the whole story, but I feel like given his druthers, Chris Claremont probably wouldn't have minded guiding the ship the whole time. Such a cool shot of, what do you call it, Wolverine here. And then we get well, you know, actually after Jim Lee, I was going to say I didn't think I really followed the book that much, but then, of course, there was Joe Madureira, who, you know, is an amazing artist. And really, it's so amazing how many artists sort of, I don't know, gain popularity and then just, like, shot through the stratosphere because of the X-Men. So it's definitely a good thing for all of us. And look at this crazy, like, they're just going for it with the art, with these crazy big double page spreads and all these layouts and stuff. That's cool right there. Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider, is that you? I mean, it has to be Flaming Skullhead, right? Who else would it be? But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. That is Ghost Rider. That is so cool. I love Ghost Rider. He's awesome. I particularly liked the Mark Texiera, Javier Salteri's. Did Larry Hama write that, perhaps? That was good stuff. Oh, here we go with some cool covers. This is the cover, and that is so cool. I mean, come on. It's like an Avengers movie poster right there. Oh yeah, now the X-Men are in the same universe. That would be like, why not do that movie with Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans and Hugh Jackman? Oh my god, I'd be so down for that. This is like one of the coolest issues ever. I just love this. And I just love seeing how they paste everything on the page still. Like none of it's computer. Like they just had to cut that out and like work it around her hair and stuff. And like we're doing arts and crafts. It's so funny. And this cracks me up too. This is like such killer design and everything's so amazing and detailed. And then you got Nick Fury blowing smoke rings, who's like normally like a really serious character. And I just thought, you go, Jim Lee. Like, way to entertain yourself sitting there for hours and hours, just slaving away over that art and then just putting that in there probably for your own amusement. And I say, that's awesome. This is a cool shot there. Gambit and Wolverine in their traditional, sexy, weird, G-string looking X-Men costumes. This is another memorable cover. Love that great shot. I think that these are probably the three characters here that Jim Lee really made his own and just really owned these characters and did such a great job. But he drew a great Storm too. Oh, there's that Omega Red character. Omega Red, not Omega Weapon or whatever I said. Sabretooth. I don't know why his outfit's cracking me up. Bishop, I don't know. Train conductor, like, what is that outfit in the Jerry Curl? I don't know. It's funny because this is towards Jim Lee's the end. Like, did he even do issue 12? Which is kind of a shame because I think issue 11 was his last one. Oh, Bob Wiacek inking. That's interesting. Actually, it looks very, very good. I'm very impressed. I'm a fan of Bob Wiacek inks, and I think he's always very faithful to the penciler. So, and I think that shows there. And this is just Jim Lee penciling and inking himself, and God knows what that is. This is cool here. This is an Alpha Flight cover, guest starring Wolverine, and this is like before his art even really exploded. And I just think that like you can just see all the raw potential. Here's some X-Men sketch cards. These aren't that exciting, I'm sorry to say, but I'm glad they're included because the more art we can have, the better. And we get Lockheed. Who doesn't love Lockheed? And that whatever O'Farrell from X-Force. That's some hairdo to commit to. I love Jim Lee's Rogue. I mean, I have to say, like, whatever. He didn't just have three. He drew good. He drew everybody so good. I mean, come on, even Sunspot. I love Sunspot. This is so much fun, like, going down memory lane with Jim Lee and the X-Men. Great parting shot of Wolverine there for this X-Men artist edition. If you guys have a chance to either get this or just look at it or whatever, I'm glad I got to share it with you today. Please subscribe and hit like, and I will bring you some more content later. All right, thanks, guys.